Buckingham Palace on what has been another historic night here in London town. The Queen is finally home, her coffin resting in Buckingham Palace as we go to air after a long journey from Scotland.
A homecoming 5 days in the making. Thousands gather outside Buckingham Palace as Her Majesty is brought home. 4 hours earlier, the sound of pipes scored the beginning of the long journey home. Watching every move, the Princess Royal, the Queen's only daughter by her side right until the very end. With the departure from St Giles Cathedral comes a thunderous applause. The streets packed once again as the Scottish people farewell their Queen. At Edinburgh Airport, the cortege is greeted by Royal Regiment of Scotland. The coffin carried by pallbearers from the Royal Air Force. The eyes of the world on them as they undertake the most difficult of jobs. As the sun goes down over Edinburgh, the longest-serving Queen in British history leaves Scotland for a final time. As the plane arrives in London, the Prime Minister waits in the wings. Just 7 days ago, Liz Truss met Her Majesty at Balmoral. What a difference a week makes. Members of the Royal Air Force delivering a royal salute. As the Queen's coffin is carefully carried onto the tarmac. The pallbearers walk slowly, meticulously pacing their steps. They have to get this balancing act right. As the procession sets off, London is brought to a standstill. People line the motorway, desperate for a chance to see their Queen. They cheer, they clap, some honk their horns. London has never been so captivated. After an 832-kilometre journey, the Queen's coffin approaches her home. The applause is deafening and deserved. 70 years of service, Her Majesty now at rest.
It's unbelievable still,
They
isn't it?
lined the motorway, they cheered, they clapped, they honked their horns. And Dickie Albert joins us now. You worked very closely with the Queen for many years. We all felt that this evening, didn't we?
We did feel it. It was a poignant moment. Well, not a moment. It lasted about 40 minutes, but it was so moving to see the cars and trucks going nowhere, the truckers sounding their horns, the people as they went past, the cortege went past applauding. It was a magic moment, and when it arrived here at Buckingham Palace, there was a momentary silence, and then cheering broke out, and applause broke out.
People have made some extraordinary journeys to get here, to have that moment, their own personal moment, in a very public way, haven't they?
They have, and it's probably the only moment they'll get, but they wanted to be here. They wanted to say their own personal farewell to a monarch who's been an absolute rock for 70 years. They haven't known any other sovereign. So they wanted to make it, if they can't get here tomorrow or any other day, right up until the funeral, at least today they made it, and today they were able to say their own goodbye.
She's in all our hearts, that is for certain. Dickie, we'll see you soon. Let's go to Christine Ahern now, who was amongst that huge crowd here in London town. Chris, good evening to you.
Carl, I have to tell you, it was absolutely remarkable to be right amongst the crowd for hours lining up in this pouring rain. The weather's been absolutely miserable, but no one moved. And it was really quiet amongst thousands of people until the Queen's coffin appeared. And then there was that really emotional time when there was that applause and also that cheering. Now, some people haven't left here, the Mall, because I'm joined by Annie and Sue all the way from Surrey. Annie, can I just ask your reaction when you saw the Queen's coffin?
Well, your heart sinks a little bit because, you know, you've anticipated seeing her your whole life, basically. She's always been a constant. And so when you finally see her, not the way that you would expect. I mean, I've seen her before, but then you see her sort of lying in state, and it's very emotional. Your heart sinks, really. And so, yeah, it's a very unusual feeling, but because, you know, you don't actually know her personally, but you feel like you do because you grew up with her in your life. And so, yeah, when you see her, like, sort of driving past, it's, yeah, very emotional.
And Sue, if I can ask you, I mean, you're still here because you're going to wait to see the Queen's coffin again tomorrow. So you're going to be camping out in these chairs in the rain.
We're mad, but it means a lot to us. My mum was at her coronation, and so sort of we're at the other side, I suppose. And yes, so we came primarily actually for tomorrow. So to have the procession and be in the front row, that's very important. So we'll pay our respects properly tomorrow. But we had that great chance to see her also this evening. So.
Sue and Annie, thank you so much for joining us. And there you go, Carl, dedicated people, because they're going to be staying out here in the rain overnight as the Queen's coffin makes its way from Buckingham Palace to Westminster Hall.
There is a depth of feeling here that is hard to quantify, Chris. On the streets there, we'll come back to you soon. Meantime, the Princess Royal has issued a statement. She has not left her mother's side. Quite an incredible woman. She says, quote, "I was fortunate to share the last 24 hours of my dearest mother's life. It has been an honour and privilege to accompany her on her final journeys. I am also so grateful for the support and understanding offered to my dear brother Charles as he accepts the added responsibilities of the monarch. To my mother, the Queen, thank you."
And as you speak there, the bagpipes behind you, so fitting.
G'day, it's Ali.
And Carl.
Thanks for watching the Today YouTube channel.
Subscribe now for brand new videos every day and exclusive bonus clips.
Ali, say please.
Please? Why?
Please. I don't know.